Now, here from my home state of California in the U.S., very pleased to welcome former member of U.S. Congress, Honorable Loretta Sanchez.
Thank you. I want to begin by giving a shout out to my Latinas there from Costa Rica and other countries in Latin America. It's great to have you here. Imagine you are a 17-year-old high school student walking with your friends going into the metro station in Tehran. And of course, as young people do, you defy authority and decidedly are not wearing your headscarf. As you stand on the platform, suddenly an enforcer jumps out and begins to assault you. And you fall to the ground, hitting your head and going unconscious. And 28 days later, you're dead. Such is the life for women living under the dictatorship of a theocratic regime in Iran. Armida Garawand is only one of many women killed in Iran every year for not wearing the hijab, for wanting to dance or listen to music, for speaking out about freedom, for wanting very basic human rights. Freedom. There is nothing more important than freedom. Now imagine Armida's family, limited in their abilities to pray and grieve over Armida. At her burial, authorities assault mourners and put dozens of people in prison, including many human rights activists. Dozens of these women are still in prison. Freedom. There is nothing more important than freedom. Journalists who want to report on what happened to Armida have reprisals against them for doing so. Her family is forced to publicly decry Armida's crime and echo a narrative that is not true, exonerating the government. Freedom. There is nothing more important than freedom. Freedom to wear your hair any way you want in public. Freedom to mourn your loved ones. Freedom to assemble and to protest against the wrongs of your government. Freedom to report the truth. Miriam Rajavi knows about standing up for human rights. She knows that it takes courage to fight for freedom. Just as all of you in this audience, in Berlin and around the world watching, are freedom fighters. Mrs. Rajavi's 10-point plan for a democratic republic in Iran would enshrine these very human rights for all and finally acknowledge that women in Iran matter. Point two of your plan: freedom of speech, freedom of political parties, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press and the internet, freedoms that we are fighting for and experiencing here today must be in Iran under your plan, Madam Rajah. Your point number 5, the one which I feel so deeply today, complete gender equality in politics, socially, culturally, economically, and equal participation of women in the political life. We need this in Iran. The abolition of any form of discrimination, the right to choose one's own clothing freely, the right to freely marry and divorce, and to obtain education and employment. So, let's do away with that dictatorship. Let's do away with that theocratic regime. Let's do away with the noose of oppression. Why? Because freedom is the most important thing, and all of us must fight for it, for the women in particular of Iran. Thank you.